Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy mel.on.mars here with a great topic on today, guys. We're going to talk about off the chain and have a special guest today, my beautiful sister, right beneath me, I should say. That ain't a good thing to say.
That's not a good one.
Pause.
Don't pause it. You grown. You do not say pause in 2018. No.
Who don't say pause 2018?
Stop it. Y'all grown. We know y'all like ladies. Like, it's fine. Just move on.
But this is a special case because you're my sister.
Grown.
But anyway, this is my sister that's under me. We're all 4 years apart, all three of my sisters, but this is probably one I'm closest to. Keep it on the low. Unique.
Hey.
Everybody.
Hello.
And I got you here specifically because we're talking about off the chain, of course, but we're talking about off the chain when it comes to a topic of depression. And you have a great story with it. Of course, I've seen your journey from day one up until this great point you are right now. And so if you have to put a definition on depression, how would you define it?
That's a great question. I would say depression is staying in your head. Repeating the negative things and can never find the positive in it. So it's basically, I wouldn't say basically, but it's kind of a pessimistic cycle.
Right.
Like continuously dumping. And it's not to prolong it, but it's not necessarily just, oh, I feel bad today. It's a literal mental thing. And the fact that you can't climb out of this hole sometimes. There's anxiety and depression, which is somewhat of a combination of what I suffer from. It's you trying to calm yourself down because you're either feeling insecure or angry or whatever the case may be, but it's like you can't get out of it. And it's no happiness. And you just, all you want to do is just lay down.
Right.
It's like, it's just easy if I just stop the world real quick and just woosah or try to find my woosah.
Is part of that anxiety and wanting to be by yourself and just be alone, is part of that based on people not understanding you, or does that have anything to do with it?
Well, I won't speak for everyone because, like I said, there are different cases. I'm just going to speak on my personal journey. That's what we're talking about today. Going into it, I felt like no one would understand me. And even to this day, it's like, y'all don't get it. And it's the most simplistic things. It's not even necessarily, oh, they don't understand my humor, which is what I feel, because I kind of have I got a dark sense of humor. Right. So I can't make certain jokes around certain people that me and you make.
Exactly.
Like, our group chat would be ridiculous. But it's just going out of it and maturing and getting more in depth with finding myself and God. I don't think people would understand me. So it's not people won't understand me. It's I'm trying to hide myself because I don't understand me right now. And it's like I'm trying to merge who I was into who I am or am becoming, because I don't know who I am right now. Right. So you shield yourself from people, even your spouse or your best friend or whoever, even guys sometimes. And I mean, you don't realize you're doing it until you realize how far you got. Like, you're there, but your mind is everywhere else, or it's stuck on that mistake you just made, or that's going on other things. I'm sorry, I'm getting off depression, but that's big. Like, mistakes, no matter how small they are, that's why I'm an overanalyzer. I think of things 10 times before I actually get to completing it because I'm afraid of failure. And it's a stifling fear. It's not like, oops, I made a mistake, dang it. It's like all day, all week. Did you really just do that? Like, you replay it over and over again. So going back to people's not going to understand it, I'm my own worst enemy. Right. So if I'm bad on me, I can only imagine how anybody else would be. Right. They still can't do it better than I can. So it's kind of like I said, just a cycle of 8 different things for me. I'm not speaking for everybody.
Yeah. And I think it's big that you're saying it for you, and it's definitely different for everybody because different levels from what I've heard. But recently, I think like a week or so ago, an NBA player named DeMar DeRozan, he's been an all-star the last 3 or 4 years, been making a whole lot of money, got a big-time contract. He played for Toronto Raptors, doing great for his career is concerned. He recently came out and said, I suffer from depression. And he said he's speaking not specifically to help people who don't feel comfortable coming out with that. Do you feel like that's something that a lot of people go through, just as far as wanting to keep it in and out of that fear, or why do you believe it's just such a hard thing to express?
Because the worst thing anyone with depression or our fear, and I can say this is a generic thing, fear of rejection and being ridiculed. Because that's mostly, I won't say mostly, but that's what I experienced as a kid. I got bullied. And it was mainly because I was a bit heavier. I wasn't like, sumo, but I felt like I was not as good enough as those pretty girls. So you start putting standards on yourself. They just ain't. Like, what does that do? So I feel like it's impactful to talk about not only your struggles, but how can you get past it? Because you don't want to stay in depression forever. It can feel like the most uncomfortable, comfortable bed you ever lied in. Because it's like you're so accustomed to being stressed out and crying and alone, and you purposely push people away so you can continue to have this uncomfortable, fuzzy, dangerous blanket of depression. And it's real easy to say, oh my God, I don't have friends. People just don't understand me. They don't get me. That's a real easy way to explain why you're not tapping into what's really going on. I used to work off of sarcasm and anger. Those are hand in hand for me. Because I'm sarcastic because I don't want you to really know how I feel or how I think. And I'm angry is because everything that I'm actually pushing down, it just erupts at one time. So everything that happened, especially you, even though you're amazing at finding that button, both of y'all, or yeah, but
her husband watching.
He's back there, so if y'all hear somebody laughing, that's him. But it's just like any little thing could erupt you because you're holding in everything, because you feel like, once again, you're going to be ridiculed if you say, oh, I'm sad today. And it's only because you woke up and you didn't like what you saw. When you have tragedies happening all over the world. And that's another thing I've been actually dealing with in the moment, which is crazy. I am going through something personal. And it's not nothing, horrific. Yeah. Something everyday people go through. So for me, it is a feeling of, I'm going through this again. I failed. And that's a horrible thing to feel like a failure. Especially as a mom. Like, I'm not discrediting men at all, I'm sorry. But for whatever reason, as women, we feel like sometimes we have to be everything for everyone else. And I'm sure men feel like that to a certain degree as well. That's why y'all feel like you gotta be so strong. At least we get to cry, which is jacked up on all traits. You feel like, I feel like a failure because this one particular thing in my life has fallen apart. No fault of my own. But then you hear on the news that 17 people got shot up at school. Yep. Teachers trying to block children blocking children, and then you're like, am I really upset about this thing when somebody just lost their baby? Right. And then you feel more guilt. And then you add on more stress. And then you add on anxiety, and then that ultimately becomes depression. Right. Because me personally, I'm removing myself from anger, but when I'm so accustomed to lashing out, where does that go now?
Yeah. That's real. That's so real. I definitely put things in perspective. You mentioned something there, just as far as the failure that you're personally going through, and how that continue. Not necessarily a failure, but something that you're going through that makes you feel like failure. Yeah. And but then I mentioned this a while ago about DeMar DeRozan, who's at the height of his career and still feeling that.
Hey man, thanks for coming out this week and talking so openly about some issues you face, man. I think you, as great of a player as you are, the effect you can have on millions of folks out there, man. What did you, what prompted you to kind of, come out and finally talk about some of this stuff?
We all go through stuff. You can't name nobody that don't go through something. If you don't go through nothing, then I don't know, man. Y'all.
I hear you 100%, man. A lot of folks, it's great having someone that's looked up to so much as yourself that's got so many kids that might be struggling with similar issues, have someone that they can kind of look to and say, you know, hey, I'm not the only one like that, man.
Exactly. I mean, we not, you know, just because we successful or on TV don't mean we don't all go through something and got problems. So, you know, it's life.
Yeah, man. You think anything you're gonna do, any steps after this, you're gonna maybe try to
We're gonna see.
We're gonna see, man. Thanks, Damar. You're the best.
So can you talk about a little bit about, because people from the outside like me will say, of course I suffer some form of depression, but nothing to the extent of you guys. But we still will say, okay, when you only at a low point that you feel depression, you know. So can you talk about those times where you maybe at your highest, you know, and still suffer from that?
So the funny thing about that is, I've heard that, oh, you're only sad and you're overthinking it and all of that.
Right.
And there may be some version of validity with that, but we're not forcing it. This is a literal mental issue.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can be on top. My marriage is good, my relationship is good, my family is good, I got the nice hair, I got whatever, and still feel like I'm not good enough. Like I'm still not this, I'm still not her, I'm still not what my mother said I was supposed to be, I'm still not this. It's a repetitive cycle of dumping on yourself, for lack of better words. So what I try to do, and I'm trying to do, is stay out of my head. Now, currently in my situation, I've been nothing but in my head and trying not to stress out my family. I've been internalizing it. For me being a very outward person, to hold stuff in is dangerous. I literally have panic attacks because if I don't get out, even if it doesn't even have to be rah-rah, like Dragon Lady, like he likes to call me. It's the that's messed up though, but whatever. It's the fact, if you don't get it out in a positive manner, then it's just gonna stay the same. It's gonna stay in the same cycle.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going away from your point.
No,
Like,
you're on the point.
being at your highest doesn't mean anything if you're looking at highest in profession and finances. You're looking at what he has, but you're not looking at who he is.
Right.
And that's the issue. Because he's a millionaire and he's doing what he loves, you assume that he's happy, that he has peace, that the stuff that happened in his childhood is not still affecting him as a grown man. And money, although I would like a little money, I mean, in him, but money isn't the cause of happiness.
Right.
So until we actually realize the cause of happiness and how to have that on a reoccurring basis, it doesn't matter what height we're on.
Right. All right, and you just went right into what my next question was about where it is derived from, because you just mentioned you don't know about his childhood. He grew up in Compton, California, you know.
Yeah, that's enough right there.
But he's, you know, he definitely had a tough childhood, tough upbringing. Yeah, what?
I got red on my
Ooh.
hands. I don't know, B, bro.
I did just call her Blue, just let y'all know.
Because I love her. I wouldn't even touch Blue, but I didn't know if that's up minute. I still don't. I don't want no problems.
And then you brought up the fact that you were bullied in school. And, you know, so do you believe the vast majority of depression is kind of derived from your childhood? Or?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I actually had a conversation with our mother. And I asked her, when did you realize, or did you realize, me as a child having signs of depression? And what she said was the very first thing that I already knew was I started feeling like I was bigger than all the other kids, because being around y'all was nothing. Like, everybody was everybody. But going to school and seeing other people and intermingling with other people, I got anxiety off rip. I don't know if it was because I had separation anxiety, you know, when our sister left or whatever, but it was just different. I didn't like it. But I would say it did stem from having family members that were depressed. And they are around us, and we're seeing them cry continuously, and we're like, what's wrong with them? And instead of allowing it to empower me, as I would feel you and our sister did, our younger sister, I internalized it, and I started to latch on and make that my way of life. So I would say it does stem from childhood, but there's been people that just randomly just got depressed, and it could be after layoff, or if their family member died. I mean, that's rightfully so that you would feel that way, and they just can't get out of it because they replay stuff on the loop.
Right, man. That's definitely big right there. So with this series I'm doing with Off the Chain, it's based on Acts 16 verse 16 through 18, and it's talking about Paul and Silas who were doing God's business, and they've been followed by this lady who's a fortune teller. And every day she'd come saying, these people, these are men here to save your soul and show you the true way, the kingdom of God, and stuff like that. Now she was saying something good, but doing it in a bad way. But the point is, she did it every single day, and eventually Paul got tired of it and turned around. First of all, first thing he did was get tired of it. Next thing he did was look back at her. Then the third thing he did was speak to her and tell her, I cast that out of you in the name of Jesus. So that's kind of how I'm basing all chains. I feel like that we can get off any chain by doing those three things. Right. First of all, getting tired of it.
Exactly.
And don't get me wrong, like you said, this particular chain is more of a mental thing. So no, you can get tired of it no matter what, but how can we apply those things? And don't get me wrong, there's you here as somebody who's experiencing it, so I'm looking more for you to answer that. But how can we apply, first off, getting to the point and say, okay, I can't go another day with this. Right. It's been following me so long. I can't go another day with this. Let me look back, just like we just did, talking about where it was derived from. Look back in the past, look back at the steps I've taken to get here, and then speaking to it, And when I say speaking to it, that's more of like a daily walk.
Yeah.
How can we apply those, or what other things have you done to help yourself?
So it's funny you mentioned that. I remember being literally tired because this has been something that has taunted me and tormented me my entire life. And the fact that any little thing could get me from being extremely happy to feeling like I don't want to be on this earth anymore can be tiresome. So the things that I applied, I'm in an amazing church home, Agape Family Worship Center in Mesquite. Hey y'all. Amazing leadership. I don't want to say it's simple because it wasn't. But I decided I wanted to let it go. It was a few things I wanted to let go. And I had to work on everything individually, but they all coexisted in the same triangle. It was just like subletted or whatever. Yeah. So I wanted to get rid of my lust. I suffered with that for a lot because I was depressed often. Yeah. I felt like no one loved me, even though I had a family who adored me. But every time I was in a room with you all, once again, that uncomfortable but comfortable blanket, no one understands me, I'm going to stay in my room all day. So I started looking for love outwardly. And dudes that I had no business with, being in hoods that I do not like to be in. And we'll never go back. I'm good. So when I started to, I got married and I thought, okay, so I'm going to put all my lust in my husband, And that was great, and I did, but wandering eyes or wandering thoughts, and he knows I have all this stuff. I'm open book, and that's to my detriment, but to my blessing as well. So, but I hide nothing, and that's why I feel like I can talk about this because I am being delivered and set free through this. Right. But I literally just got mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually got tired of all of that, and I said, God, okay, it's just gonna have to be me and you. I really can't even do it anymore. Yeah. I need you to help me with this. I am tired of looking at myself and crying because there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. So, but I literally prayed, and I know you have different viewers or whatever the case may be, but this is what I did. So, however you do it, I don't know if you want me to look at the camera or not. Oh, yeah. But, okay. But this is what I did. I literally said, God, teach me how to see me how you do. And that's big because you usually don't want to see yourself. Yeah. You don't want to see your dirt. You don't want to see anything about you. You want to be squeaky clean. Yeah. And I didn't assume that that's how God sees me. I don't see him as seeing me, she's just a perfect little angel. I'm ridiculous. things. He made me. But, and this is not a sermon, this is really what I did. Like, I'm really into the mindset of, I have to do better. I want to do better. I want to feel better. And once I started realizing that, and that's another thing, a mentor. That's a major component.
No doubt.
My first lady, who I call my mother, she has been shaping me. And I'm not saying our mom didn't do a great job. I'm saying...
You heard the stuff I say on this channel about our mom.
That's why I'm not saying that. I am in the middle. But no, I needed someone who wasn't biased. My first lady didn't know anything about me. She knew what I told her, but over the years, she gradually started understanding and seeing things that I wasn't even telling her. So I would call her on the dumbest stuff, like, we'll eat some chicken again. I told her I chicken. Like, it just be the dumbest things, and she'd be like, okay, are you done? Pray to calm down. You don't say anything else. It doesn't matter if he eat a whole bucket in front of you. You don't say anything. And it was little things like that, and then she would tell me to pray and what scripture to read. Or it was just really just stop trying to control everything.
Wow.
Because another thing with me, I don't know if it's just depression in general, but with me, I felt like my life was so out of control that's why I became controlling. If you didn't do it, and Lord, touch my husband, he is a blessing from the God, like literally, because I tried to control every little thing he did, and he worked with me. And now I'm just a little more lax. I still grab my chest every now and then, but it's just I wanted to control something. Yeah, so having a mentor is really good. Having someone pour into you that has the wisdom and the knowledge, and to show you that it's not that deep.
Right.
Like just pull it back a bit. Like you're arguing over something that's not that deep. Just have a cool moment. So those were the gradual steps that I did. So I focused in on what I wanted. It wasn't just oh God bless me. It wasn't just take the pain away. It was specific. God, I want this to leave.
That's good.
I no longer want to lust.
That's good.
I no longer want to be angry. I don't want to yell no more. I was specific. So you can say it was a goal or however people do it. Write it down. Like literally pay attention and be specific with your thoughts, your words, and your actions. And once you hone in on what you want, baby step it. Like, don't try to jump full first, but that's exactly what I tried to do. And my husband again got it. Like everything made me mad. So be specific and work on it on a daily basis, and it'll get so much easier. And you'll be able to start helping people like I'm trying to do.
That's so incredible. That's so incredible. I read something. I think the stats is 14.5 million people deal with depression in America, and I think it's more than just a thought. It's more than just what a feeling. It's actual mental disorder that people are going through, and I think that it's something that America needs to take more serious. I seen so many memes and so many pictures and stuff about the young man you mentioned earlier that that killed those people, and it's horrible. People trying to make it a race issue, of course, and all kind of different things, but the main thing I feel we should focus on is he's going through a mental disorder. We can change gun laws for sure.
Definitely need that.
Yes, but this guy had a mental disorder. I don't think we take mental disorders, important enough. We push them to the wayside, say people just crazy, or say they just need help, or but we don't take the time to help them. We don't take the time to really see what's going on. And honestly, I say that for me too. For you, I know it's been several arguments that you and I have had. I've learned how to deal with you a lot better lately. But why it take this long? You know what I'm saying? I'm 30, 25. 26. 26.
You 30.
Damn, 30. But the point is, it took us this long into our adulthood, but that's what I'm saying. For the next generation, will we catch these things early and not just say you crazy? You know what I'm saying? If I just put a video out saying the millennials will save the world, because things that we did to just totally break free from our past generation, our parents' generation, and grandparents, that we gonna put inside our kids, that they won't have to face none of this stuff.
Exactly.
And so, and if they do face it, we're gonna be able to give them the antidote because we have dealt with it truly for ourselves. So I'm gonna give you the last word. I'm gonna let you talk to those 14.5, which probably
we speaking that. We gonna say that.
We know. Talk to those people and you give them face to face from somebody who has experienced it. Whatever God leading you or whatever you want to say.
Oh, I wish I would have wrote it down. Okay, so what I would say is what I say to myself every day. Find one thing in particular about yourself that you like and learn to love it. Embrace it, understand it, explore it. You have to understand that you're here for a reason. I know that sounds cliche. I don't even know what my purpose is yet. I hope it's right, but we gonna see. But I really feel like if you try to see the best out of yourself, because we're really good at saying everybody else is good, but in our heads like, why can't I be like that? You are like that. And you gotta start thinking that. It take me forever to really understand who I am, what I'm here for, and what I am good at. And I have downed myself a lot, but I am motivated to find out what I'm supposed to be doing to help not only myself and other people. So I'm going to tell you to love thyself for thyself.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
That boy good.
Slice of chocolate!
So good. We so ratchet, bro. We so professional. Horrible.
Alright, man. So thank you so much. See, she didn't want to come on, guys. This whole time I had my little channel. She wait till I get over 100. Now she said okay.
I mean, you know, you famous now, you know.
Got a long way to grow. Next, I get her husband on here to talk about.
Oh, that'll be a long.
See, I want her to come here and talk about weight loss.
Okay, cause who back there sexy chocolate is my sexy chocolate. Come on.
Yeah, cause I don't want to talk about everybody's issues. Don't talk about mine. The big old head. Anyway, well, thank you so much for joining me, sis. Universe, welcome my sister. Leave some good comments. I know you guys love what she had to say. Guys, I want to hear from you. Whatever issues you're going through, if anybody going through depression, you know anyone going through this, be sure to share this with them. It's a great message. I want to get this out to everybody if we can. All right, guys.
Okay, I'm in frame.
Yeah, you're in frame. So this is the camera right here. So whenever you want to talk to, whenever you want to talk to the camera, you look straight there. So good. I'm shining a little too much. I'm gonna take this off.
Okay. I didn't even prepare nothing.
What?
I didn't.
No, it's probably. I mean, we're gonna flow with it. I mean, of course, I got the ability to edit.
Yes.
So if anything you want to take out, we take it out.
Okay.
Whatever.
You gonna do your intro and then introduce me?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
I don't know what to do.
I'm nervous.
Okay.
I'm nervous. Nah. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you don't know already, my name is mel.on.mars, and Mars stands for music, athletics, relationship, and spirituality. Every Sunday I do a spirituality video. Every Tuesday I release an athletics video. Every Wednesday I release a relationship video. And every Thursday I release a music topic video. Guys, you don't want to miss this. This thing is growing more and more every single day. And I don't want you to miss anything. I want you to become one of my subscribers. For my subscribers, I affectionately call them the universe. Why the universe? Well, the word universe is defined as all existing matter and space considered as one whole. And that's what I want. I want all my subscribers, whether you share my opinions, you share my beliefs, or you disagree with them, I want you to be a part of this so we can have this open dialogue and hopefully we all can become better. Whether you educating me, I'm educating you. Let's do this thing together and let's have a good time. On this journey with me, guys, you will have some laughter, you may shed some tears, you're going to be educated, but all in all, you will be definitely entertained. There's a couple things I need you to do before you exit out this video. First, in a couple seconds, you're going to see my chubby face pop up right here. Once you see that, click it. And when you click it, it's going to allow you to subscribe to my channel. Secondly, right next to that, you're going to see an option with a bell. That bell would allow you to have notifications come up every time I have a video so I can get your instant reaction. And lastly, you're going to also see a video that's perfectly for you come up in this corner. Click that video. If you haven't seen it already, check it out. Let me hear what you guys say about it. Guys, this thing is growing and growing every single day, and it only can grow even more based on your support. So I need you guys to like my videos, share it with your friends, comment, let me hear what you guys say about these topics. I know I talk a lot of crap, I know I talk about a lot of controversial topics, but don't be afraid to comment on it, don't be afraid to say your true opinion. I want to hear that. Again, this is the universe. I want you guys to be a part of it. I want all of our collective thoughts to come together and create something better and a change for this world. It's your boy Mel on Mars. I love you, and let's grow. Peace.